How you guys doing? For us, obviously, I don't think anybody getting up here is going to say that we felt like we played a great game. Definitely not for us in the second half, and third down was really bad. We got to get better. We got to play more consistent. I think our issue right now is we don't get out of our own way. We make mistakes. Consistently, and it's not one guy, it's not one play, it's a combination of things, and we can, for some reason right now, getting to competitive excellence, as we term it right over there on point number 2 has been something that we got to continue to work on and get better at. So for us going into this Maryland game, which is exciting. For us going into this last game and having an opportunity to go play the Terrapins. Pretty excited. I talked to the players yesterday. Pretty excited too. There was a lot of energy. We had a good discussion as a team and as an offensive unit. So excited about these guys. And getting down to Maryland and another opportunity to go win a game.
Last week I asked you about trick plays and being more creative on offense. And I think right after that opening kickoff, you went with the reverse.
Yeah, we went with a fake reverse.
What was the thinking there? And I have a follow-up.
Going into that, wanted to give them something a little bit different that they hadn't seen. We actually we miss a block right there on the inside piece of that, and with the reverse coming back, all of the extra player was going to be one of the safeties coming. It's got to make that play. The corner was way off into the field, and so bringing back something, any secondary contain that might be coming in and out of the box, have an opportunity just to slow them down for a split second and give Josh the opportunity to hit the alley. Obviously, when we don't block the alley defender that's right there, none of that came to fruition. But if we get that guy blocked, we got a chance. Goody's got the mic pinned. Flanagan's just got to get that safety, and we've got the Sam linebacker kicked by Arch, and there's a nice crease there. It's for us, it's just execution. We got to get execution.
That's when something like that goes awry, do you get more gun shy to maybe try another, big play, another creative trick play?
No, I don't think that you can go and approach it that way. I think the thing that you got to call the right play at the right time, and you got to ask yourself what we're doing well, or what we're not doing well at times. And so if we're in a situation to call a trick play, great. Okay, where is that going to be for us on the field situationally? If we're not, right, if we're like, hey, what's our objective right here? If it's to get a first down, or early in the second half, we need to get a first down and stay moving on the chains. Obviously, a little different philosophy and situational thought for us.
Drew, is it difficult calling plays when you have talent in there, because it just seems, as you would say, it's kind of limited in the throw game? For instance, there was a 3rd and 6, I think at the Penn State 45. I thought it would be a quarterback draw, and it looked like they did too. It was kind of stuffed. I mean, does it make it tough when he's in there as far as, the things he can and can't do?
Yeah, you got to cater to him a little, obviously. So what are his strengths going to be? He was actually, for him, as a run pass option for him in that. He and smartly elected to not throw the ball. It was the run pass option read was covered for him. So he took off. He made the right read, something that he had practiced. You can't call everything, it's not like you got who's a good example right now? JT Barrett. JT Barrett, not all talent aside, he's been in that offense for 5 years now. It's his 5th season. All the terminology is the same. So if you've only been in here for a couple months, you're obviously going to be a little bit limited. And JT's got a ton of exposure, obviously, to Big Ten games and a huge understanding of what people are trying to do to him to eliminate their success on offense. So, challenging. Are there like perfect plays out there? There's great plays. There's an offensive play to beat every defense and a defense to stop every offensive play. But I think for us, the mentality is not like, do we need to be in a perfect play? I think the mentality is, can we execute the play despite whatever people do to us? And for Tylen, that includes him as well in his package. And it's not very big. You're right. It's absolutely not very big.
Drew, generally speaking, without naming any names, how's it been the reaction from recruits? This, obviously built a pretty good class, and how's it been, with obviously the offense struggling the way it is?
I think our guys have been pretty good. Recruit-wise, we've had some, we've had some hard conversations, and then we've had some other ones. And for those guys, you talk about why you're recruiting them. What we're trying to do here, and what we want the future to look like. Do we have all the pieces in place, and where do you fit, and those types of conversations. So I think from that standpoint, our recruits have been pretty good.
You mentioned Tylen. Getting back to him, he's been a one-dimensional quarterback. What has led to that, and maybe what's lacking in his development up to this point?
I think for Tylen's as talented as Tylen can be, Tylen's still he's still very, very young, and there's a maturation process that has to go. You can't just throw anybody out there, No, the person that touches the ball every time on offense, they've got to be locked in and ready to go all the time for everything. And he's not there yet. I'm just being honest here. I mean, he's not there from a maturation standpoint. And so it'll go as far as he wants it to. Does that make sense? Tylen's got to continue to keep growing and getting better from just being a college student athlete, and he's not there yet. So the sky's the limit for that kid. But he's the one that's going to say whether or not how much he can do or not do from that standpoint. He's gotten a lot better. He's grown up. But it's for him, we got to have conversations about what that means and what exactly that looks like.
In throwing the football, are there mechanical issues, stuff like that really have not come
Yeah,
along?
he rushes it. And I don't know, just going back 2 games ago, when you guys are watching, you remember the Michigan State game, and he's out there and he rushed the bubble and he one-hopped it in there, made the right read. It's a good throw. Or a good read, not necessarily a good throw, but when he rushes it, when he sees reads and they happen fast for him, that's where he struggles from that standpoint. That's the part that he's got to get better at, especially as a passer. He does a lot better in the run reads. They happen a lot faster than they did in high school. Now in the Big Ten, so the passing game is the same way. And when he gets rushed on his throwing motion, and that's when you see balls thrown short for him.
Jawan Harris, how big a piece? I mean, I know you have a game to play, but how big a piece is he for you guys moving forward, just in terms of the versatility that he brings to the offense?
I think the fact that he plays inside and outside this season provides a huge dimension, I think, for us. Generally, you play one or the other, and they're a little bit different skill sets. Just using more extreme examples like Carlton versus Janarian, they're different skill sets, and he's been able to play both. So I think for in the future, being able to move him around and finding matchups and people with people that who we think are going to cause problems, and maybe that's on a linebacker. Maybe I think he's got a tremendous future from that standpoint.
In a similar vein to what Ryan just because this might be the last time we see you this season, how will you evaluate your play calling, and how do you evaluate how your play calling has been? As we've discussed, there are some vocal people on social media that haven't always been enamored with it. How do you look at the season you've had play calling?
I think for us, how we're going to look at it from my perspective and from the offensive staff perspective. Okay, number one, did we put ourselves in good plays? So when we evaluate the play call on film, okay, was it the right call for the right situation? That's not always so. You're not always going to be in a perfect call. Ultimately, the defense can align to you last before Secondly, why did the play work or not work? Okay, that's always something that you have to evaluate. Okay, and the big things with that, was it scheme? Was it technique? Okay, was it personnel? We asked somebody to do something that they physically couldn't do. Okay. And if it did, there's really only 4 outcomes. It worked, or one of those 3 circumstances. And so for us, I think when we evaluate our play calling, my play calling, and what we're game planning to bring into the game, okay, did we give ourselves an opportunity to be successful? If we did, okay, why did it work or not work? And if we didn't, right, if it was a scheme problem, you go back to scheme, that's on us as coaches, that's on me as a play caller, okay? So if they had more people than we did and we still ran the play anyway, that's on me as a play caller. So from that standpoint, that's how we'll evaluate it. If it's a technique problem, that's something that we got to work. We got to address those issues. If it's a personnel problem, we ask somebody to do something. Is there a way that we can get to the same thing that we were trying to game plan-wise with different technique or putting that guy in a better position for better leverage? So that's for us. That's what we're going to have to do. And I think ultimately, as a unit, we got to eliminate our own mistakes and go out and execute. And we don't have some of these types of conversations. So. We can all. We talking about it yesterday. We're all in this thing together, and as an offense, and we got to call plays. We got to call good plays. We got to go out and execute good plays. And they're not all going to be perfect, but it's going to come down to belief, and it's going to come down to a bunch of guys in a room that want to go win and want to go make that play happen right there, right then.
Coach, obviously Amir Mitchell's not playing this year, but how has his development been, and what kind of role do you see him playing next season?
I've seen Amir just in some development periods. He can run. He's got a knack for the ball. He's very competitive. He's he likes to talk a little bit, which is fun. It makes practice interesting from that standpoint. But I think that he'll have a chance. I think a big chance to go in and compete in spring. Nowhere in here is Coach Ash or myself going to ever say, "Hey, you're slotted in as to being this guy or that guy into a role." It's all about competition. Can you go out and compete and be better than everybody else on a daily basis, not just one day? And so I think for him, he's got a huge upside. Played really well and developed and took his scout team role during this year very seriously, and goes out and competes and is not afraid, of anybody or anytime, anywhere. So from that standpoint, that part's exciting. It's very fierce competitive nature in everything that he does, and so I think he's got a tremendous upside. Appreciate you guys.